We cut extreme poverty in half in 15 years. There's no reason why we can't do that again. We have all of the evidence, all of the tools. Now is really the moment when we need consensus, we need unity on acting to end poverty. Hi, my name is Saru Duckworth. I am a student, I'm a researcher, I'm a development practitioner, originally from Nepal and the US, and I'm really just working to ensure that we're the generation that ends poverty. Originally, I first got inspired to take action and make change when I was going on a scheduled family trip to Nepal in 2015. My trip was planned for June, and then in April, a devastating earthquake came and, made my family home unsafe to be in, but decided I wanted to go, I wanted to see my family, and joined a volunteer trip there and helped a little bit with the rebuilding effort, and it was really, really transformational. The first time I sort of moved beyond doing service for just the sake of community service hours and really was like, oh, I can make a difference. And ever since then, I can kind of track. I got involved a lot doing food security organizing, so I worked with homeless youth. And then in college, I helped to found a food pantry for low-income students. So kind of always even in like very privileged and wealthy spaces, trying to see who is like slipping through the cracks. It really speaks to my work on SDG 1 and Leave No One Behind, because in my own family I can see, the shoulders I stand on, just how far the women in my family specifically have come, how much they've sacrificed for me to, complete my education. My grandmother has only had up to 5th grade education. It's a story of so many young women because she was the oldest in her family, right? She had that maternal responsibility for unpaid care work all throughout her life. And I'm so privileged to not have to have that. And I really feel a mission to expand that impact to other people. And that's what drives me. I was reading through private sector SDG plans and plans in general of companies for the SDGs, and SDG 1 is one of the least referenced. And then when I get into spaces and talk to people and ask, oh, what SDGs are you working on? SDG 1, again, doesn't come up as like sort of an individual thing that one person could tackle, because of course it's so big, it is so cross-cutting. It can be so othering, I think. You don't who are these people living in extreme poverty? They're not in my backyard, even though in developed countries there are really persistent large pockets of people in poverty. But I think what helps me, break that stigma, realize that I can be the change, is how close so many of us are to actually experiencing many of the same things. It could take one hurricane, it could take one global pandemic, one lost job, and really many of us are living on the brink, and it's because of gaps in our system. There's going to be no safety and security for me and my family until there is the same for every family in extreme poverty around the world. That's kind of what I think I want more people to take up into their own, vision, mission for change on SDG 1. Poverty doesn't necessarily see gender, but the impacts because of structural gender inequality on women are so much greater. And often when you go into a community and you ask people, in a participatory way, who among you is experiencing the most vulnerability, it's often women at very specific points in their life, either their childbearing years or elderly years. There's a huge widening of the poverty gap at those two places between women and men. Women across the board are, face discrimination, face, repression, patriarchal structures that lower their income, but really attack them in so many more fundamental ways, just socially and mentally. There's a actually really well-researched and emerging line of research in poverty about how important hope is. What I feel like I can aspire to matters so much. And if I see only examples of male leaders around me or men working outside of the home, it's a self-reinforcing cycle. I'm never going to see that for myself or for my daughters. And so it's those kinds of even more subtle but really insidious things like confidence and hope that affect, I think, women and lead to them facing greater vulnerabilities. Really well researched that one of the first things that parents do, especially mothers do, when they receive just that little bit more income every month is, improve their children's lives. They improve their, add an extra meal to the table every day. They're, paying for school fees, health checkups, these kinds of things. It's so innate, and you don't even have to think about it. You see it borne out in families around the world. These kinds of changes are small, but these small changes lead to that massive impact for, families, but also for governments, for countries. We don't necessarily need more evidence. We actually know what works, and we have really good evidence as to what can help a woman and her family escape permanently from extreme poverty. We don't necessarily need more funding. We actually just need to prioritize it differently. Recognize the value of people in extreme poverty. It's so obvious, but it really isn't done. And how much we could gain by harnessing their productive capacity, by bringing people into the workforce that right now are have untapped potential. Poverty is a political choice. Some governments are doing it, right? And we've seen really, really incredible results of that. Like, we cut extreme poverty in half in 15 years. In my lifetime, why can't we do it again? People who think that we can't end poverty, it's too, insurmountable, need to think again. We can. We're going to do it within my lifetime, and yeah, there's no reason why we can't.